We can move on to the next game, of course. And this should be an interesting one. A team that has exceeded everyone's expectations at the beginning of this year. I think a lot of people assumed that maybe the Raiders, maybe the Broncos would be the bottom of the AFC West, but here we are. The Broncos, Sean Payton, and the rookie Bo Nix are in the playoffs, and they are traveling to an incredibly difficult place to play, to Buffalo, Orchard Park, in January. With Josh Allen has a Super Bowl on his mind. I think that the Bills are going to be absolutely locked in for this game, and that Bo Nix is going to be overmatched. Mike, what are your initial thoughts as it looks of this game?
I mean, if we just look at it on paper, it's the least sacked quarterback in the league versus the most sacked quarterback in the league. You have Sean McDermott's brain power on the defensive side of the ball versus a rookie QB. For the third time this season, he's facing a rookie QB. That's not to say. I mean, Bo Nix has had an amazing rookie year. Let's give the man some flowers. I mean, it's been fantastic. Cortland Sutton he was like a fantasy football winner if you drafted him. I think there was I honestly there was a lot. I thought there was a lot of questions with Sean McDermott coming into this year. This is going to be a very important playoff stretch for the Buffalo Bills. Um, I think you've got a team that is ready to win right now. Even given eh, we did we see any fall off with the loss of Stefan Diggs? No. I mean, and that's a credit to the coaching staff and obviously Josh Allen and honestly James Cook has played out of his mind this year. I think what it's going to come down to, it's like I think both coaches have a lot of respect for each other. I think this is a 9 point spread, but you're at home going to a hostile environment. I mean, not to take anything away from the Denver Broncos because they've been able to manufacture points with. I mean, I think most of us picked them to not even sniff the playoffs in this division. But and that's a credit to that's a credit to Sean Payton. That's a credit to Bo Nix. But one thing I think is going to be kind of evident in this game is Joe Brady was hired by Sean Payton back in 2007 when he was coaching the Saints. I think this is a stick it to the man game. I think it's a stick it to the man game by the Buffalo Bills and Joe Brady. Obviously a ton of respect for on both sides of the football. Coming into this game in terms of the coaches, but I mean I just don't see how you're going to slow down. The who is at least should be considered a runner up or at least not tied with Lamar. For the MVP. One thing, I think the only way the Broncos are going to keep this game within that 10.5, 9, it's 9 right now. It opened up at 10, 10.5. Only thing that's going to keep them in this game is Bo Nix. Um, I do kind of like the Broncos first half at 5.5, 6 to maybe keep it close. But, I think, the go to target is going to be Cortland Sutton. They're going to have they're going to have a focus on him on the defensive side of the ball. I think the Bills bring too much pressure on the defensive side of the ball, and it's going to disrupt Bo Nix in his first playoff game in Buffalo. I mean, give me the Bills. 10. But I mean, shout out to the Broncos. Give them their flowers. It's been a year. I don't think any of us had pegged for them.
Pat, what are your thoughts on this game?
Well, my thoughts are not going to be that interesting because I do have the Bills as my Super Bowl champs. That pass rush, the playoff talent, just the experience throughout that entire roster. Um, Obviously, have the questions about Amari Cooper and whether he's going to be joining the team or not. That's a key component of that offense to be sure. However, I mean, Josh Allen can just take over the game. He's one of those guys that it doesn't really matter who's around him, and he's proved that this year. When James Cook is running the ball effectively, I think the offense is borderline unstoppable. It's just such a difficult quarterback to defend when he has a great running game as well. And so I think they're going to get out to an early lead in this game. And then when you've got that Buffalo Bills pass rush pinning their ears back against a rookie quarterback, things could go south very quickly for the Broncos. I do think that the Bills are going to handily win this game. What is the spread currently, you say? It's
10
I think.
Or 10
Yeah,
and a half?
It's down to 9 right now. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a lot of points to be laying. They are at home. They're playing a rookie quarterback again. Sean Payton is as good of a coach as you'll find in the league, but when you talk about experience versus experience, this Bills team is just so far ahead of this Broncos team. The Broncos do seem like a team to watch going forward as this symbiotic relationship of Sean Payton and his Ferris Bueller, Bo Nix, slowly progresses throughout this, going forward. However, yeah, this Buffalo Bills team is going to be too much for them, and I think that they're going to win big. Maybe it won't be. I don't know that I'm going to lay the 9 points to bet it, but I'm confident in my Super Bowl pick being the Buffalo Bills. So count me in for Bills Mafia this January.
And Terrell
in February,
Bernard,
hopefully.
Yeah, Terrell Bernard will play in this game for the Buffalo Bills. He had missed he missed last week's game against the Patriots. I mean, they may have just held him out, but I mean, I think that's going to be, you get him back on defense. Yeah.
And Amari Cooper was also back at practice today, for the record. So reaffirming my Bills pick.
I'm with you guys in this game. I like Buffalo, and especially let me just touch on this. It's Buffalo's offense against Denver's defense specifically. And people say, well, what are you talking about? Denver's defense has been good this year. Correct. They have been good this year, except for the last month and a half or so, starting back for the Browns game. They are in the bottom 10 of the league when it comes to total yards given up since that point in the year. You looked when they played good teams, and we'll include Cleveland in this, they're not a good team. They gave up 32 points to the Browns, 34 points to the Chargers, and then 30 points to the Bengals. And each one of those teams had right around 500 yards of total offense against this Broncos defense. To counteract that, if you look at Buffalo's matchup with this Denver defense, Josh Allen is 5th in passing grade against the blitz, and Denver ranks 3rd in pass blitz rate. Also, Denver plays a lot of man. They're 8th in the league in man coverage, and Josh Allen is the 3rd most efficient quarterback in the NFL against man coverage. So if you put all those things together, it lines up to Buffalo doing what Buffalo does, and that's probably score a lot of points. And look, can Bo Nix keep up? Probably not. I mean, he might have some success. He's played well over the course of the whole year, quite frankly, and we've seen spurts of really good football from this Broncos offense. But I don't think they're holding serve to Josh Allen and this Bills team. So I'm with you guys at the Bills. If you're going to take anything in this game, I rarely say it, but I will go over. And I'm sure the total is high, but just based off of everything that I just saw, I like the total. I like going over.
Total's at 47 right now.
Yeah. I think this game could very well be 31-24, 34-24, something like that. So I think the Bills put up over 30 points on this team.
I'm going to push back on all you guys and say, just for maybe to look out for, I think the Broncos are going to cover. I think their defense is going to have some success. But to me, this is going to be my opinion, what is the telltale sign if the Bills can make a Super Bowl run this year, is how this offensive line performs against a really good defensive front. Ultimately, I think the guy who's going to get exploited the most is going to be Riley Moss, the corner for Denver. I love Riley Moss, but he's been struggling the last few weeks. I think guys like Keon Coleman, even Matt Collins, are going to have tremendous success against him because physical receivers have given him a hard time all year. So I think that's going to be the real X factor is if how high or how well Riley Moss can hold up. Maybe they have to go to McMillan. But yeah, you're right. I think the Bills are going to win this game. I kind of feel the same way about this game as I did about the Pittsburgh Ravens game. You're going to get a lot from Sean Payton early on. Expect Bo Nix to fall off late in the game. He might make a couple mistakes. I do think he's going to turn the ball over once or twice. That's a prop bet to look out for, I guess. But if the Bills are going to make a Super Bowl run, it's going to be with the dominance of this offensive line. They've had a great year all year. Huge fan of both of their tackles, Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown. Their interior offensive line's great. The right guard maybe could be cause for concern. We'll see how they play against this front. Defensively, we'll see. I like Cortland Sutton. I think he'll score in this game. I'll take the Bills, but I'm going to take the Broncos to cover.
All right, I'm with that. I think the Broncos can hang around.
And here's the one thing.
I just think there's gonna be points in my.
The one thing I'll give the Broncos is, I mean, their defense really got healthy at the end of the year, and their pass rush became kind of the cornerstone of what was winning them games in terms of stopping guys. I mean, we'll see. I mean, that's obviously different when you have Josh Allen back there. And then you're going up against Deion Dawkins. You're going up against that Bills front seven. I think the only how Sean Payton's going to call everything is just bringing pressure on Jalen Hurts, or I'm sorry, on Josh Allen, just about as much as he can. And Vance Joseph as well. They played great defense throughout this year. I think there's too much talent on the defense, on the offensive side of the ball for Buffalo with the MVP going in there.
Yeah,
and
it's just a horrible. Sorry, I mean, it's just a horrible matchup for the Broncos, right? I mean, you can play consistent defense, solid defense, great team defense all year, and be really impressed with your rookie quarterback and be happy that you got into the playoffs. But it feels like you're running into an absolute buzzsaw in a quarterback like Josh Allen, going to Buffalo across the country, with your rookie quarterback. The offensive line in Denver has impressed, has played somewhat well. You mean you like what you see from obviously Garrett Bowles, especially, but I do think that Von Miller in this game is going to be able to, really impose his will on his former team. We saw him, really turn on his former team, Von Miller.
But that offensive line is studly. I like the Broncos O-line.
We're talking about a man who's going to be fitted for a gold jacket.
He's playing spot
shortly
reps.
after he's retired. The guy is still
he's retiring pretty soon. I mean, the name value's there. I can't say he's. I mean, he might be able to come in and give you a couple pass rush reps here and there, but if he makes a big play, fine. You can come at me and Christian, fine. I'm willing to bet against that. I am too. I'm kind of a Christian. He plays 10 reps a game. I
like the Broncos O-line. I love the Broncos O-line.
And I love the Broncos defense. Third fewest points in the NFL. I mean, shout out to Vance Joseph. I mean, they have a relentless pass rush defense. It's just, I mean, you're going up against the MVP. It's not going to happen.
The only thing that concerns me about Denver's defense, like I said, is that when they played up in competition over the last couple of weeks, they have faltered a little bit. They've given up a lot of points and yards against good teams.
And this is Bo Nix's first playoff game.
Yeah,
let's not just don't overthink. Don't overthink it. Go ahead, Pat.
No, that's what I was going to end it there and just say that I think that as good as the Broncos' offensive line has been, I think that the Bills' pass rush is one of the best. And one of the reasons it's one of the best is because they have a damn Hall of Famer on it. Whether or not he's making plays, whether or not he's playing as much, I think that Von Miller playing against his former team means
He's
something.
got a whiskey salesman. He's got a whiskey salesman mustache now.
Do you want to do a side bet? Von Miller over a half sack between me and you.
Half a sack.
Yeah. So if he
I'll
gets
give you
half a
that.
sack, we push. But if he gets a full sack, then you win. And what do you want to do? Like $10, a little side bet here.
I was gonna say, do we do half a sack and not 0.25?
I'll buy you a whiskey
bro.
drink if he gets a sack. I'll buy you a whiskey, Pat.
We'll hold off on any bet about it. All I'm going to say is look out for Von Miller. And I reserve the right to gloat. I reserve the right to gloat if he makes a big play.
Yeah, put your money where your mouth is, pal.
If it comes down to it, if the Broncos could be playing from behind quite a bit, and he could be playing limited reps, but he'll want to get his reps in against his former team. Something tells me
he'll pin his ears back. He'll pin his ears back.
That's the plan. That's what he's going to do, and you don't have to be too. He can still do it. Yeah, I do have faith in Von Miller. Make one big play in the playoffs. You don't get a guy like that with his pedigree and his ability to just. Yeah, I could talk about Von Miller. Maybe I'm stuck in the past, but. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see with this game. Once again, I have the Bills as my Super Bowl pick. That's a spoiler. I think.
Pat, do you think we see any more of Tyrell Shivers in this game? Roll Tide.
Tyrell Shavers. Well, he gets a half roll tide because he just gets a roll because he did transfer.